Hi, friends, listeners, and viewers. I hope you're having a good day so far. Welcome to episode 2 of Controllers and Katanas. I am Martin, aka Marty Cool, here with my good friend Ian, aka Relic. We have some more juicy information for you today, so I'm going to pass you over to Ian now to get us started.
What's up, guys, girls, and goblins? So we thought we'd kick off today with something a little bit different. So our first segment, we want to go into somewhat of a draft. But we've seen a lot of people do sort of like their top five anime main characters, their top five superhero draft. We want to do it a bit different, and we want to do our bottom five worst heroes draft. So, Martin, I don't know if you want to kick this off with your first one, matey, on this.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to start off with a really weird one of the weird ones I've ever heard of. This is from the DC Comics, a guy called Dog Welder. Basically, I don't think you can call him a superhero. It's more of a man with an ability. Basically, basically, he welds dead dogs to enemies' faces. So, other night he'll just hang around the back alleys picking up dead dogs like a weirdo, and then he'll get his weapons ready, and then the next day when crime appears, he's there ready for it. And whoever made this character, he must have been on drugs at the time, surely. That's my first one.
Definitely a sicko. Definitely a sicko. Luckily, he's. I've not heard of him. He's not on my list. So
That's good.
I'm gonna go with one. This is a bit of a heartbreaking one, really. In a sense that it's a chap called Bailey Hoskins, and he's a Marvel character, and essentially he has got an ability, but his one ability is self detonation. So his ability is literally he can self detonate. He is a bomb, and it sounds like it can cause some damage, like some devastating damage. It sounds like. However, he can only use it once because it kills him. So he literally is almost like Voltorb, mate. Like he's got self destruct. That's it. He's going to use that, and he's a dunner, mate. Like
He's got to time it right. Yeah, he's got to time it right.
He's got a one-time one, so it can either save the world or just do nothing, mate. Like,
Yeah.
he's not living to see the next day. So he's number one for me, Bailey Hoskins.
Well, I've got some more onto. So my second one is one called Bouncing Boy. He's also from DC Comics. You've probably heard of him. But basically, like all kids, he loves a fizzy drink. And one day when he's having a fizzy drink, it happens to be a super plastic formula rather than Coca-Cola or Fanta. And this gives him the ability to inflate as a ball. So I don't know why there's super plastic formula on the side for him to drink. Maybe his mum's like clearing out the kitchen cupboards or something like that. But anyway, he drinks this drink. He has this power to inflate like a ball, and then basically bounces around, causing havoc. I mean, handy for a beach day, maybe. I don't know. But that's my second one.
He sounds like something straight out of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. To be fair, mate, he does, doesn't he?
That's it, yeah.
Right, this next one. Doing a little bit of research for this one. I see the character. This one is a DC character. I found out there's certainly a lot more weird DC characters than there is Marvel characters, but I've tried to like split it a little bit. But this chap is literally called Danny the Street, and I thought, oh, Danny the Street, yeah, whatever. This is sound. Turns out he's actually a street, like a road, and it's not even a person. He's just a street. Like, but his ability is he's capable of moving himself into almost any location all over the world. So he can literally just move his street to somewhere in like, I don't know, like America or something, or he can move to Japan as like a street, but he's literally a road, mate. Like, he's not even a person.
You'll have the postman constantly looking for him. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, it's in America. Yeah. No, it's in India. No, he's in.
You don't want to live on his street, mate. You'll have no roadways.
Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty good one. That is. So my third one is a superhero called Doorman. He's from the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I've got Doorman on my list, man. I'm going to pick this guy.
So basically, it's a terrible ability, to be fair. He can teleport people from one room to the next room, which is pointless, really. I mean, I thought of a situation where it could come in handy. say you have friends around and you're watching football, doorman happens to be there. You're sitting down, you're comfortable, you don't want to lose your seat by standing up and getting the snacks from the kitchen. So you go, doorman, come over here. And he comes over. You put your hand through him. You grab the Doritos and beers from the fridge and the cupboards, and then you bring it, and you're back in your seat still. Yeah.
Yeah. I had him on my list as well, so I thought to myself he'd be a pretty good villain as well, because you could just literally hang out at the back of banks and just like find out where the vaults are,
Yeah.
and then just go into the vault. That's like the one of the positive things I could think of him. But yeah, he was a good one. So I'm gonna go with a Marvel one here, and it's a guy called Jazz, and he's a mutant. He's from X-Men. But when he mutated, his mutation is that his skin just turned blue. That was it. He's got no powers at all. When he got his mutation for the X-Men, mate, he just got blue skin. That's it. That's literally it, mate. What's that all about?
Can you imagine the superheroes are like, what's your ability then? And they're all standing around. And he just turns blue and they're like, have you started yet? Yeah, this is what I do. Get out.
I don't know. I don't think he can turn it on or off either. I think he's just blue all the time now.
Oh, okay.
I think he's literally just blue now. That's it.
That's even worse. Right, where am I? Okay. I've got my other one, which is a superhero called Friendly Fire. He's also from the DC Comics. Most mine are from DC Comics. Basically, he can shoot powerful energy bolts at his opponents. Sounds good, right? But in this guy's case, he can only hit his teammates. So say you're fighting your enemies, and then you get blasted in the back of the head, you turn around, Friendly Fire's there, you're like, oh, cheers, mate, for that. And then you turn back to fight your enemies, and you've probably been overwhelmed by them. So this guy is pretty useless, and in the comics, apparently, he shoots an energy bolt and accidentally kills himself, so R.I.P.
R.I.P. Friendly Fire, mate. Top guy. It's a shame because he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going for? I'm going over to DC again on one of mine. Now this chap, his name's Gold Balls. Sorry, this is a Marvel one. This is. So what he does, he essentially produces gold balls, different sizes from any part of his body, and they emit the sound like boink when they hit stuff. So like they literally, mate, they can bounce too. And I imagine you like them cheap floater balls you used to get from when you was a kid, where you kick them and the wind would just blow them in like 900 directions. I imagine it's just like that. However, there's a twist to this guy because he has a name change halfway through, mate. So it was later discovered that they aren't actually just like balls; they're infertile eggs that he makes. So he changed his name from Gold Balls to Egg, and then he actually gets a little bit of a break here where he gets found he's a little bit more useful because he joins this group called the Five, and they basically just use him and a couple of other people's abilities, and they start reviving dead mutants. But he just produces random eggs and just starts growing people, mate.
That is mad, though. Okay, for my last one, I think we're doing 5, aren't we? Is that right?
Yeah, 5, man. That's all I'm picking.
So for my last one, I've got a superhero, again from DC Comics. His name is Six Pack. And basically, his only power is he can open beer bottles with his abs. He fights no crime, so he's pretty useless. And he's also alcoholic. And his costume smells of urine, apparently. Or is stained with urine. So, yeah, not someone you want around, but...
He just pisses
he's on the
face.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, he just stinks of pee. He's probably at the AA meetings all the time, trying to get himself better because that's alcoholic. But yeah, that's my last one.
Sweet. That's sweet. I'll go for my last one's a DC one as well. Actually, he's called Stone Boy, and he can turn his body. He can turn his body into stone, which initially sounds sick. It sounds a bit like Red Riot from My Hero Academia. You think, oh, that's wicked. That's a decent ability. But when he does it, he literally turns into a stone. He can't move or anything. So he's essentially just Metapod from Pokemon, but the DC universe. He can just use Harden. That's literally all he can do.
Like the enemies run past that, trying to blend in. Like. He can't move.
That's it, man. That's it. Oh, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good though.
have you you enjoyed that one, guys? And if you've got any of your own sort of like bad heroes or bad abilities, just drop them in the comments on YouTube or get in the Discord. But yeah, but yeah, we thought obviously adjacent to this, we're talking about bad superheroes. We thought we'd start a little bit of a discussion as well, almost a little bit based on last week of an introduction to ourselves, sort of what our top three heroes are. I don't know if you want to kick this off, Martin, or do you want me to kick this off? Shall we start at three and then work our way up to number one?
Yeah. You start. You start. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so sweet. So I'll start with number three, but I have got to put an honourable mention in here for Deadpool,
Yeah.
because Deadpool is a very, very close three for me. There's a reason number three is where they are. However, in terms of my top heroes, number one is miles ahead of everyone else, mate. Like no one will ever beat number one in terms of what it is. However, two, three, four, they're always moving around. So a number three spot, depending on different mediums and that sort of stuff, it was actually my number two spot for a little bit. But it goes to Wolverine, this does, on my number three. And if I'm totally honest with you, comic book Wolverine's pretty cool. But Hugh Jackman, man, like Hugh Jackman is
Yeah.
Wolverine. Like he's made. I mean, you got to think how long he's been doing X-Men for, everything. But he does such a good job as Wolverine, mate. It's so hard to dislike him. And when my son was born, we literally, his middle name is Logan, named after Wolverine. And then when the year after he was born, the Logan movie came out in 2017, mate. And that movie, honestly, is an absolute. It's in my top five like superhero movies of all time. It's an absolute masterpiece in my opinion. I love that movie so much. But yeah, it's number three is Wolverine. So I don't know if you want me to work up 3, 2, 1, Marty, or if you want to go do your three now and then we'll work that way.
Yeah. I mean,
Keep talking.
it's same with me. Like Wolverine's number three for me. I don't think anyone can beat Hugh Jackman as playing that role.
He's
I'm
very
looking
good.
forward. I'm looking forward to the new Deadpool film where you do see Hugh Jackman in the yellow outfit from X-Men. That'd be good. I've been waiting for that for a long time. But yeah, he's strong, he's badass, he can heal himself, and he's great at fighting and killing people. So yeah,
Yeah,
number three for me.
It's so sick. And now number two then for myself, we're going from Marvel straight to DC, and he's more of an anti-hero really, but it's Red Hood. Red Hood, essentially, I just think he's cool. He's different to the other members of the Bat family that are out there. He was one of Batman's Robins, slightly different upbringing, still just probably as tragic as most of the others, but with Red Hood, aka Jason Todd, he was actually killed by the Joker. And the reason that I'm drawn to him a little bit more is because I suppose his values align a little bit more with what mine would if I was in that sort of position where I feel like a lot of these bad guys, they don't deserve to be saved or captured. A lot of them do need to be buried, mate, in my opinion. Like, as grim as that sounds, they do, really. Some of them do. You think some of the crimes that Joker's committed over the years and stuff like that. But yeah, as I say, he still fights crime, mostly for the right reasons. I mean, he's been hit and miss throughout the years in terms of what he has been doing and what he's done, because he has been quite a bit of almost a villain character, really, in a sense. But he's very much, I sort of see him a little bit like the Deadpool character, especially if you read the comics. He is very similar to a Deadpool character, but again, he's really a vigilante. He hasn't really got any powers. He's just very well trained. As I say, he's trained by Batman, who's one of the best martial artists ever, really, in terms of comic books and stuff. And yeah, I just think he's cool, mate. I think he's really cool. I've got a bit of a prop as well. I've actually got a wearable Red Hood helmet with a lot of parts and everything, which I actually made myself. So yeah, I think that also shows sort of how much I like him. But in terms of comic books, I've always read comics for a long time, but Red Hood, I literally sat and I binge read like all of the comics when I learnt about him a bit more. And yeah, he's stuck in number two for a while now for me. And as I say, he's just very good. I just like him. Yeah, he's just wicked. What about you, Martin?
Yeah, number two for me it's got to be Batman. I've watched all the films of Batman that's come out. I grew up watching from like Tim Burton, his Batman,
Classic.
Michael Keaton in it, and then growing up through the years, Batman's always been one of my top heroes. He's just so good. His backstory, his abilities. I just love. Yeah, you've got the top on. So yeah, that's it for number 2 for me.
Yeah, he always
Just love-
fluctuates in my. He's in my top 5 at 100% of the time. Batman as well,
mm,
100%. He's in there. He's one of probably the most identifiable heroes out there. Probably second to my number one. But yeah, he's just iconic. Any Batman is his costume. He's the comic runs as well. There's some sick comic runs. There's different variations as well. Flashpoint Batman. If you've not heard of him, check him out. That's absolutely amazing, mate. You got if you haven't read that, just read it, or just read up on who Flashpoint Batman is, and his suit alone is just wicked. So
yeah,
if going to number one,
I think yours is going to be the same as my number 1, but you
I
go
think
far
it's a
away.
lot of people's number one.
Uh,
But my number one is probably the most recognisable, and it's probably a generic pick, really. But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Spider Man, and Spider Man will always be my number one superhero. He's the very hero that got me into comic books themselves. Obviously, I watched a lot of Batman stuff when I was younger, but when you are younger, Spider Man seems a hell of a lot more, I suppose, relatable in a sense, especially from like a teenage aspect and that sort of stuff. And as I say, because he got me into it, the original Tobey Maguire movies, absolutely iconic. They're some of my favourite movies ever. And that is literally that movie when that first came out, that got me into superheroes in general, full stop, pretty much. And for that reason alone, Spider-Man will always take my number one, because he's one of the most nostalgic. There's so many different suit variations you can get. The games are sick. Pretty much most of the games are sick as well. There's some sick PS2 games out there as well from Spider-Man.
yeah.
The villains are very good, like very, very good. But one of my favourite variations, I think I touched on it actually last pod, but my favourite comic run is the Superior Spider-Man run. And I wish I'd got him out now. They're in the cupboard, but the front cover to the first issue of that, the artwork is so sick. But essentially, Doc Ock takes over Peter Parker's body, and then he starts realising stuff as well. Like, obviously, Doc Ock as a villain starts realising that Spider-Man's actually been holding back all these years, with holding back his punches, holding back, because he knows, obviously, Spider-Man is powerful. Like, he's a lot more powerful than a lot of people think. And yeah, he's just such a good character, and he's iconic. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. Literally everybody knows him. And there is a reason for that. I don't care if it's a generic pick. It is the number one pick. I don't think there's anyone else up there that could beat him, really, in terms of popularity and getting people into the genre. So, yeah, my number one is definitely Spider-Man.
And guess what? My number 1 is also Spider-Man. But I mean, you covered most of it. But I just remember when I was younger, my dad brought this VHS, and it was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which is Spider-Man,
Oh,
Iceman, and Firestar. And I watched that. That was the first thing I ever watched of superheroes, and it's now come on Disney, the Disney app. So, I mean, you can check it out, but it's quite old. It's like 80s. So,
yeah, there's some of
yeah,
the animated series is from Spider-Man, though. Oh, they're so sick. They're very,
yeah.
very good. And
I
you get to
think,
see a hell of a lot of villains in there as well that you wouldn't usually see.
yeah. I mean, I saw. I think Craven's in like one of the episodes, and when I saw him, I was like, oh, it's awesome. And then now this film's coming out. I think it's this year, which
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to as well. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm going to let you
Yeah.
lead the next one, Martin.
Do you want to
Uh,
talk a bit about villains or?
yeah, we can have a chat about villains. I've not wrote anything down about villains, but I've got stuff in my head that I can talk to you about villains. So we'll go for it.
Well, I'll go my top 3, and then we'll get your top 3 in it. So my
Yeah,
top
yeah,
one's obviously the legend that is the Joker. Heath Ledger, I think, played the best role in the movies. Is such a great character. So dark, and in all the games as well. I think Mark Hamill does the voice in the Arkham games.
yeah. Mark Hamill does a good job of him. I think he does some of the in one of the animated series. I think Mark Hamill does Joker as well. If I
Yeah,
might be mistaken with that, but I think he does.
but for him, it being the top one, when I watched, like as I said earlier, I watched the Tim Burton films back in the day.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson played him, didn't he?
Jack
And
Nicholson was
ever
sick.
since then, yeah, ever since then, I've loved the Joker. But yeah, I mean, number 2, I've got Green Goblin, obviously from Spider-Man, classic baddie. and then the Penguin's number 3. But that fluctuates between different ones. We've got like Deathstroke as well, but and Sabretooth and Magneto and stuff. But yeah, what's
Yeah,
your?
I'll go number 1, Joker, mate. It would be the same 100%.
Yeah,
When you think of a villain in general, he's got all the characteristics of what an actual villain is. He's got no remorse for his actions. He doesn't care about anybody. He's a literal psychopath. Like
yeah,
he literally doesn't care about anyone but his actions or what he's doing. And yeah, he's, as I say, my second favorite hero / anti-hero was Red Hood, and he kills Red Hood, or Jason, should I say, before he becomes Red Hood. And it's just those sort of actions they just scream villain, and he's written so well in so many mediums. He's been done not very well a few times, but overall he's one of the best villains ever. And I don't think you can get a better villain than him in terms of iconicness as well. He's so good. Like you say, Heath Ledger, R.I.P. did an absolutely incredible job in the Dark Knight movies. Or movie, should I say?
I think
almost.
Yeah, I think there's a trailer coming out today of the actual new Joker film, and it's a musical and stuff. But
Yeah.
I
I did see a bit on that. To be fair, that the first one was actually a very good movie. It was very well written, and I did like the direction it was taken on it. It was really good. And Joaquin Phoenix as well. He's just a very good actor, isn't he? He's very good.
Yeah,
he was wicked in Johnny Cash, for example. That film's so sick.
Walk the line, isn't it?
So. He walked the line, yeah.
Yeah.
And you just know he'll do a very good job. And number 2, so number 2 became my number 2. And I suppose he's not really a villain anymore. But Doc Ock is my number 2. I think, just mainly from the movies and his redemption arc from No Way Home, when they fix him, don't they? And he then becomes like a good guy again. And it's like, I almost feel like that sort of redemption arc that he has is just so wholesome that I just love him, mate. But he's obviously always going to be classed as a villain, so he's going to have to go in my villain list. So yeah, I because of that, and obviously the actor as well, he's very good, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he'll be my number 2. And my number 3, you actually did mention him, but you didn't pick him, and it would be Deathstroke. Deathstroke, he is badass. And obviously I've got the Red Hood helmet. I'm going to be getting a 3D printer at some point soon. I had someone in the cosplay community 3D print me that helmet. I sanded it, painted it, did all the electronics inside, everything myself. But Deathstroke, I've already got the helmet file to download that on and print it on my 3D printer when that comes. So my next helmet will be a Deathstroke helmet, mate, 100%. I wish Red Hood, for example, would come out in live action. He's been played very well. It's Jason Ackles or something, I think his name is, isn't it? Plays the Soldier Boy.
Jason Ackles, yeah.
Eccles,
from
that's it,
Supernatural,
yeah. So he voices Red Hood. He voices Red Hood in the animated movie Under the Red Hood, which is sick, such a good movie. And he actually was Red Hood at Halloween once, and he did a very good job of that. But he's likely going to be more of a Batman character now because of his age, but I'd love them to bring Red Hood into a universe, but then Deathstroke, I know he's been in a couple, but I want him to be brought into a universe. Hopefully, obviously, James Gunn does a good job of this universe and can build something up and bring these sort of characters and give them some longevity, because we saw a little bit of Deathstroke. And I think was it the Justice League movie? I think he was in the end credits or something. And he looked so sick. He was so sick. And he's in.
He was in the Arrow series, wasn't
he? Yeah, he's not very good in that, though. I must admit.
Green Arrow. Yeah.
But and then obviously the Arkham games as well. Deathstroke in the Arkham games is honestly insane. Honestly, he's so sick. His suit, I've seen loads of people make his suit, and it looks wicked. So yeah, that'll be that's my top 3 villains. That is.
But there's loads of others. Like it was hard to pick for me.
There's loads I don't know, mate. Like it's all about having a connection as well, isn't it? Obviously, when you grow up I suppose for myself, and obviously knowing you as well, Martin, a lot of what we like comes from nostalgia, I guess, in a way.
That's it.
And
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's always nostalgia's always good. But I'm a little bit stubborn in a sense where I know for a fact that I don't care what happens ever. Spider Man's always going to be number one superhero for me. Like he just is. He just is.
Yeah,
Like you're
I
never going
totally
to
agree
get
with you.
topped.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Um, should we move on to the next section?
Yeah, should we
On
go
the clock?
talk a little bit about games?
Let's do it. So we're Summer Game Fest is 2 months away, where the big teams, PlayStation, Microsoft, Nintendo, Ubisoft, Capcom get together and they showcase their new releases and updates.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll be reacting to that, guys, as well. Just so you know.
yeah, maybe we could watch together and get reactions to the announcements and
Yeah,
stuff.
man.
That'd be quite good. One couple of things I'm looking forward to coming out is obviously news on the new Assassin's Creed game. It's called Assassin's Creed Red at the moment. It's set in Japan. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping to
it's
get
gonna
an
be
update.
fire.
So excited. I'm hoping to see more on the Wolverine game because we had a bit of clip of that, but we never saw anything else. Which
Yeah, it looked very Logan-esque, didn't it? That did. That's
yeah.
why I don't have a PlayStation, but that piqued my interest straight away.
Um, Also, obviously, I'm a tactics fan and a big fan of the Fire Emblem games, so I'm hoping for a new game of that or a remake from the Nintendo Direct. Some of the games that could possibly be showcased is Dragon Age 4, Dreadwolf, maybe Fable 4, State of Decay 3, New Elder
Fable 4.
Scrolls. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Yeah, New Elder
Chicken
Scrolls,
Chaser.
Kingdom Hearts 4, Max Payne remake, and the Splinter Cell remake. I remember the old Max Payne game. I remember his face was all that scrunched up, like he's like that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they change that. But yeah, that was such a great game. That was diving around, blasting people. Yeah,
Yeah, it's sick.
yeah,
And Martin is. You'll soon learn. Martin is our big games guy on this podcast. He's certainly got a lot more experience in the gaming world than I have. I do love games. I unfortunately have been ill and lazy, so I've not really put anything into the game talk. Plus, I've only been playing consistently one game for about 3 months. So, but just touching on what Martin's just said, Fable. I loved Fable games, mate, so much. I smashed every single Fable game, and literally, even to this day, me and my mates we still literally go, oh, I can see why you're a hero and stuff like that all the time, mate. Chicken Chaser, like
yeah. Oh, Chicken Chaser.
Chicken
Yeah,
Chaser. We still just
yeah.
make like one-liners from Fable to each other all the time because it was such a good game for its day. So
I need,
yeah, I didn't even know I knew there was one coming out a long time ago which got cancelled, but to know that there's potentially another one releasing, that's actually really piqued my interest. That has, so I'll be looking out for that one definitely.
so yeah, you're still playing Lethal Company. You're still enjoying it. I'm still loving the
That's
videos
all I
on
do,
YouTube.
mate. It's literally all I do. Like I was playing World for a bit, but we haven't been on that for a while. But I've been ill. I've been off work and I've been ill. Um, I haven't been off work because I was ill. I booked leave off work and then got ill during my booked time off. So I've been like robbed of my time off work. I
Yeah,
had a sinus infection, so I've been asleep most of the time, just dying. So I'm feeling certainly the best day I've felt so far is today. So I'm on the rise. So I'm
yeah,
hoping to get back on some more games really and get moving again. But
yeah.
downloaded a
Still,
couple of things, but yeah, just haven't got around to them yet. I think one Wild Hearts, I think one's called. It just literally looks like big swords and monsters, mate. So
yeah.
go
It's
smashing monsters to bits. That's all I want to do.
I see. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. I'm still playing Final Fantasy Rebirth on stream. But I really want to. I'm playing two big games at the moment. I'm playing Like a Dragon and Final Fantasy Rebirth. But I want a game in between. So I've been thinking about getting Tekken or Street
Oh
Fighter
yeah,
6 because I've always been a big fan of Street Fighters. Like I mentioned before, when I was younger, went to the rental game and video shop, saw people playing Street Fighter 2. I couldn't actually reach the cabinet, the arcade machine at the time because I was quite young, and then just being blown away at how amazing it was. But then obviously, like I said, me and my brother used to go home and batter each other, doing spinning bird kicks and Hadoukens at each other, as kids do. But yeah, keep seeing Dragon's Dogma pictures, still funny pictures online. But yeah, Yeah, still funny,
Oh,
still funny, still scary. Still funny.
Dragon's Dogma stuff is just nightmare fuel now. I've gone to like a new version of Dragon's Dogma where it's not even funny anymore. It's just terrifying.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
but yeah,
freaking it's mad. It's mad.
it's just it's
I got a
something I
question for
look
you.
at. Oh yeah, go on.
I've got a question for you. Have you ever broken a controller in frustration and anger?
As an adult, certainly not. I think
In your life, have you?
so. I think a lot of people will admit to this, and it's not necessarily breaking a controller, but if you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, and you had one of those TVs, you know the TVs I'm talking about,
Tanks.
literally 2-ton tank TVs. You throw a controller at one once, and the way that deflects off that TV, you learn from your mistakes straight away. You never throw a controller at those TVs because you're going to get hit back. Like 100%, the TVs fight back. So
It's like the Pong game,
unfortunately,
isn't it?
yeah, unfortunately, when I was younger, I broke one controller in frustration, and it wasn't by throwing it. I was that frustrated. I was pushing the controller inwards like that, like bent it in half. It was like a
Wow.
PlayStation 1 controller, and I bent it in half, and like it still worked, but it like created a fracture all the way down the middle of it. And it's safe to say that my older brother and my dad were not happy at all about that. But I have threw an Xbox 360 controller at one of those TVs before, and it didn't break. The controller was an absolute unit as well, to be fair. But I was a very short-tempered young man, let's say. So unfortunately, I did a lot of spitting at screens, which is absolutely disgusting when you think about it. But I was so frustrated all the time at games, mate, that a bit stupid games as well, like Tony Hawk's, mate, and I'm getting dead annoyed. But safe to say, I've learned the value of controllers and TVs. So there's none of that when you get older and you get a job. So
Yeah.
luckily, my children have never thrown a controller or broke a controller yet. Anyway, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm hoping I'm instilling that into them correctly.
But
What about
for
yourself?
me,
You ever any frustration?
well, it's not. I've not broken a controller, but I remember when I was younger. I think I was playing Mortal Kombat, and I wasn't doing too good. So I punched the screen, and like you say, them TVs back then were like tanks. So I literally like come off like I was like, oh, my hand. But I know a couple of, I'd say a couple of games. A couple of games I got frustrated with. I threw the CD out the window, and then it landed in the backyard, and then like about 2 minutes later, I'm like, yeah, I better go and get that. So, so got it,
Just
put
run
it back in
downstairs.
the yeah. It's going to rain in a minute. I need to go and get that game. So I went to
Yeah,
get the game, put it back in the console, and carried on playing. But yeah, I've
yeah. I
never
think
broken a controller yet, but I don't think I will.
never out of
Yeah.
this was
Yes.
never out of frustration, but I think the Nintendo Wii controllers probably took the most flack out of any controller ever, and that wasn't
Oh
even
yeah.
that was purely by accident most of the time. One of my mates, we used to go around his house and play his Wii, but for some reason they didn't have any of the wrist straps. So literally, like the controllers used to just hit the walls all the time. His mum used to just shout at everyone because obviously just constantly banging because the controller just hitting the
Yeah.
walls.
What's that? What's that?
Like shut up, screaming at us from
trying,
downstairs.
I'm trying to watch EastEnders. Stop throwing the.
But yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Switch
So
controller.
yeah, so new games coming out. I've not got many written down, but Hellblade 2 is coming out in March. Sorry, in May. And then we've also got, for the fans of Elden Ring, we've got the new DLC, which is coming June 21st. I know a lot of people are ready for that. I know Josh at work is
Oh yeah, Josh
he's ready.
Mackie D, 100% ready. They're his jam, aren't they? He loves those sort of games,
Yeah.
Souls games, and them sort of games. So,
Yeah.
myself, I tried to play Souls. I think I died like 32 times in a row and then just gave up. But Elden Ring, I've seen quite a few of it, and it is on my list. I do need to give it a try because it's a lot different to the Souls games, into the
Yeah.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, more like free
genre.
roam, isn't it, and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so it's certainly something I'd like to give a try.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Should we talk some anime?
Yeah, why not? It's called Controllers and Katanas, isn't it? So let's
Yeah,
we
let's
got to talk
go.
to some
Let's
anime, haven't
go.
we? Yeah, let's do it.
So we're gonna just we're not going to talk about necessarily what we're watching at the moment because our last episode was a week ago and we're still watching the same thing. We're still watching My Hero Academia essentially. So this I'm going to sort of just reel through some either some new seasons that have just started or some new anime that just started or will be released this spring season. Um, so we'll read out what they are. I've put the synopsis down on a couple of them, so we get an idea of what they are, and then I figured me and you, Martin, could sort of like let them know if we're planning on watching it, if it sounds like something we'll watch, that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
the
definitely.
first two, we 100% are watching. I know Martin didn't even have to tell me. I know we will be watching it.
Oh yeah.
So the Demon Slayer, Hashira training arc, when that comes out, we 100% are watching that. My Hero Academia season 7's coming out this year. We will be watching that. It's just I don't know if we'll be watching it when it comes out. It depends how quickly we get up to date, if we can get up to date in time. So I'm going to move on to the first one. Is this one's a very interesting one for me. I think this looks really good. So it's called Kaiju Number 8. Essentially, it's like Godzilla-like monsters called kaiju, which I think the original Godzilla movies were called kaiju or something, weren't they? Or they used to call them kaiju in that. I think it's just a Japanese word, isn't it? But they've been
Yeah.
appearing around Japan for many years. To combat these beasts, an elite military unit known as the Defense Corps risks their lives daily to protect civilians. Now, once a creature is killed, sweepers, so basically like cleaners, come up and they dispose of the remains. Now, there's a guy called Kafka, who's a 32-year-old man, is unsatisfied with his job as a sweeper. And from a young age, he's aspired to join the Defence Corps, so he actually wants to kill the kaijus for a living. And he's failed a few times in terms of to get to his dreams, and he's resigned himself to the mediocrity of cleaning up, essentially, for a paycheck. And an 18-year-old recruit named Leno joins his cleaning team, and he once again is reminded of his desire to join the military. So essentially, it looks like he's going to try again. But as soon as you see Godzilla-like monsters in an anime, it's a yes, mate, straight away. Like, yeah, I'll check that out instantly. Like,
I
I'm
remember.
definitely going to check that out.
I remember when I read because you put it on Discord, didn't you? In our talking points thing, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw it and I read it, and then instantly added it to my list. It was literally like it was ticking all the boxes. Godzilla, yeah, fighting, yeah, shooting, yeah,
Yeah, the only thing
anime,
I've not
yeah.
added to this one is because I'm not sure. It might be on now, but when I did write this list and got the list together, I couldn't figure out how many episodes it was going to be and what the episode times were going to be. But I feel like it's going to be a continuous one. I'm not too sure, but it's likely the episode times are probably just going to be 23 minutes. Most things are, aren't they? Really, with anime.
I'll just check because I got an app and it might
Oh yeah,
tell me. Just give
yeah.
me a
You check
second.
through that, and I'll start reading through this next
Yeah,
one. So the next one's called Spice and Wolf. Merchant meets the Wise Wolf. Now this one is going to be 25 episodes and they're 23 minutes an episode. So Hollow is a powerful wolf deity who is revered in the small town of Paslo for blessing the annual harvest. Yet as years go by and the villagers become more self-sufficient, Hollow has been reduced to a mere folk tale. When a travelling merchant named Kraft stops at the settlement, sorry, I got hiccups. Hollow offers to become his business partner if he takes her to her northern home of Yoitsu. I'm assuming that's pronounced. The savvy trader recognises Hollow's unusual ability to evaluate a person's character and accepts her proposition. Now, in the possession of both sharp bargaining skills and a charismatic negotiator, Lawrence inches closer to his goal of opening his own shop. However, as Lawrence travels to the countryside with Hollow in search of economic opportunities, he begins to realise that his aspirations are slowly morphing into something unexpected. So, if I'm totally honest with you, I have no idea what that's about. I just know there's a wolf and a guy. So, I'm not 100% sure. I might add it to the list, but I'll have to watch a trailer and stuff on that. But based on the synopsis, it just sounds a little bit random. Sounds
bit
yeah,
all
it's
over
just
the
a
place.
merchant meets a wolf. Yeah, so I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure on that one. I probably should have figured out what studio is going to be animated it and that sort of thing, really.
Yeah.
The next one is. Did you get any information on Kaiju?
Yeah, it's from what it's saying, it's 12 episodes.
12.
And it
Sweet.
comes out. It comes out the 13th of April, which is like next week, is it?
Oh, sick. Oh, that's literally like this week.
Is it this week?
Is it this week? It's Saturday, mate.
Yeah, it's this week. Yeah, so that's it.
Sweet. Right, I've got a lot of My Hero Academia to watch then. Now, this next one's called Windbreaker. It's 13 episodes and 23 minutes an episode. You'll find myself, I like a lot of these shorter anime. I think they're typically a lot easier to watch, especially, if you're binge watching a larger anime. It's nice to have breaks in between, I find. And watching like a 13 episode, like Solo Leveling was the absolute perfect anime for that. So these sort of short ones, they do sort of like pique my interest a little bit more. But basically, there's a character, Haruka Sakura, wants nothing to do with weaklings. He's only interested in the strongest of the strong. He's just started at Fiorin High School, a school of degenerates known only for their brawling strength. Strength they use to protect their town from anyone who wishes it ill. But Haruka's not interested in being a hero or being part of any sort of team. He just wants to fight. So essentially, I'll be watching that 100%, mate. That's got to be like a Baki type, sort of like Baki the Brawler, sort of just a scrapping one. Windbreaker. That's. I must admit, it's already on my list. Ones to watch, just because them classic brawlers sometimes they're just fun to watch. It's really good.
Yeah, it's like people are talking to you like, don't worry about that. I just want to fight, mate. Let's
Yeah. Just one more. One more I saw as well that I added. It's a little bit different, this one. In terms of the reason I've added it is just because it sounds like the most Japanese show in the entire planet, basically. It's called Go-Go Loser Ranger. So it just reminded me of Power Rangers. It's 12 episodes, 23 minutes an episode. And basically it says 13 years ago, the nefarious monster army invaded Earth, but humanity's great protectors, the Dragon Keepers, defeated them in a single year. Every Sunday since, the monster have been forced to act out humiliating defeat after defeat in front of the unsuspecting public. Determined to change this, a single Monster D infiltrated the Ranger Force. With the help of the mysterious Ranger Yumiko, D managed to seize one of the divine artifacts, the only weapons capable of permanently killing the monster's immortal bodies. However, D's subsequent encounter with the Dragon Keepers led to his unfortunate end. So who will stop them now? So from what I could gather, it's almost like they're just crap Power Rangers, but they're like bad guy Power Rangers instead of like good guy Power Rangers. And they're trying to, I think it sounds like they're just trying to end themselves, really.
I wonder if Red Ranger will be in there.
Oh yeah, the classic mate, Jason over there. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll see like some of the trailers, like you say, of some of the other ones. But the Godzilla one is definitely on my list already.
Kaiju's it looks so good. That does already. I've seen a couple of trailers and stuff of that already, and the animation and stuff looks really good. So
I think it'll be another one that's out every Saturday as well. So a bit like Solo Leveling. So
I do. Like I say, the shorter anime as well, they're easier to watch in between stuff. But the newer ones, when they're coming out, it's very easy to watch in between stuff because it's just an episode a week. So you can just binge watch your stuff for the week, watch one episode, and then binge watch your stuff, watch one episode, binge watch your stuff. Yeah. So it does make it a lot easier to watch. However, binge watching certainly seems a lot easier to digest the whole story.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, that's right.
I thought we could talk a little bit about some TV shows and movies.
Yeah.
Only because I watched the new Ghostbusters movie, Frozen Empire. Ooh.
Any good?
It's the worst one out of all of them. Apart from, the one with all the women in it. That's like, I think it's part of like a different universe, isn't it? I think.
I've not watched that one.
Yeah, don't, mate. It's not very good at all. It was still quite fun. It's still a Ghostbusters movie. You've got the original cast in there as well. Bill Murray just does what Bill Murray does. As soon as he arrives in it, mate, he just steals every scene because it's Bill Murray, isn't it? Like, he's just legend, isn't he? But it was quite slow in some spots. And then when the the evil entity, the evil being shows up, who looks like he could be out of an anime. To be fair, he looks mad. It just seems to end quite quickly. He doesn't seem to be in it a lot. Like, it's such a slow build up, gets to him being in it, and then it's just over. Like, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've watched the others, you may as well watch it. I think I preferred the last installment, Afterlife, a bit more than this one. But it's still an enjoyable movie. My son really liked it. He thought it was very good, like very, very good. So I suppose I'm getting to the point where I'm not the target audience anymore.
I think I've probably watched that film just for like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and
Yeah,
the guy who plays Winston. I can't remember his name.
I can't
But
remember
just
his real
that,
name.
yeah, the nostalgia, the nostalgia, like you say again.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's still all right. It's still a decent one to watch because it's just Ghostbusters in it. So
Yeah, nothing will beat the originals. Though.
no,
we all know that.
Absolute classics, mate. But also, I saw the trailer for the Fallout show.
Oh yeah,
It's coming out literally this week, and I think they're dropping all 8 episodes this week. Like this
week?
I think it's on the 12th or something.
That's Friday. Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's this Friday. That looks so good, mate. That looks so good. That does. So that one's gonna have to be. I think the old anime is gonna be on a back burner for a bit. I'll binge that Fallout because that honestly looks very, very good. Yeah, I'm just gonna double check the date now, but I'm pretty sure it said it was this week.
So much stuff to watch now. We got the new anime. We got My Hero Academia. And then we got Fallout.
Oh yeah,
Too much to watch.
Fallout show. 12th of April, yeah.
That's it then. Weekend sword.
So yeah, that'll be. I'm hoping anyway. I say that'll be very good, but I don't know. I've been let down too many times before, but I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful that will be good.
Yeah, I just want to bring out a film that I'm really looking forward to watching. Godzilla Minus One. Everyone must have heard of it. Directed by a Japanese director. Let me say this right. Yamazaki, I think it is. And apparently the visuals and the CGI and that are meant to be phenomenal. And the budget was so small; it was 15 million. So, like a Hollywood movie is like 150 million. So, it's really going to show them up, show Hollywood up.
It's like the Godzilla Minus One, isn't it? It's like got nominated for loads of awards and everything, and it's a full Japanese like movie, and it had such a low budget, and like I'm yet to watch that yet, unfortunately, but that's definitely up there on my list as well.
Another one I want to watch is it's a Roadhouse. It's on the Amazon Prime. I just want to watch it just for the fact to see Conor McGregor acting. I know it's going to be pants, but it'll probably be an entertaining film. But I just want to see Conor McGregor acting, see what he's like.
Yeah, I've not seen it yet either. But to be fair, the old Roadhouse movie, the '80s one, that weren't very good. That was a bit of a piss take type movie, wasn't it? Sort of like a mess around film. But them sort of films they're quite enjoyable, aren't they? So it's not going to be anything that's groundbreaking or anything, but I do think it will be an entertaining watch, to be honest with you. Because Jake Gyllenhaal, he's sick as well, to be fair. Isn't he?
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's films are just so good. Like Prisoners for a start.
Oh, mate, he is sick in here. He is good. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. I definitely need to give that one a watch still as well. That's just on Amazon, I think, isn't it? Like, yeah, you said that, didn't you? Just on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah. So, I just want to let people know that I've watched the Gentleman series on Netflix recently. Definitely recommend it if you like Guy Ritchie films like me. When I watched it, I really enjoyed it, and it started me watching all the old classic Guy Ritchie films like Rock and Roller, Snatch.
Snatch is one of my all-time favourite films, mate. It's so good.
It's so quotable, that film. I watched it the other day and I was literally laughing my whole way through it.
You're just mad that Brad Pitt's in it, like.
Yeah. You can't understand what he's saying.
He's like full Irish, like bare knuckle boxer, isn't he?
Yeah. Wait, just like one punches that guy, just kills him off. Yeah.
He's trying to
Can't run from him out. You what?
It's for
Do
you
you understand
what?
the word?
It's
You
for his
understand the
ma.
word he just said?
And all his mates are like, it's for his ma.
I want to watch Me Machine as well. I want to watch that again.
Oh, wicked movie.
I love that film. Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, wicked movie.
But yeah, we're still watching Shogun. We're going to watch the latest episode after finished here today on the podcast. So looking forward to that. Really enjoying that show.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah,
four
you still
episodes in.
yeah
4 episodes in. I'll need to catch up. I'll try and catch up with it for the next pod, and we'll have a chat about it proper.
yeah. But
Because
yeah, that's what I'm
it's
watching at the moment.
very good.
Mm. So when you think back of your favourite movies through your life, name them.
Favorite movies of my life. Do you want me to go through like stages from when I was a kid to when I was a teenager to when I was an adult? Because I'm going to
Or
be
just
honest,
most
it does make
most
sense.
memorable. Most memorable.
Most memorable, the original Star Wars trilogy. My mum's next door neighbour used to lend us the VHS tapes for them, and we used to watch them on a weekend. And leading on from that, the episode 1, 2, and 3, those three as well. They're some of the first movies I ever went to watch in the cinema.
Yeah.
So they always stick out to me. Anything further than that is just I'm not that bothered about. But those six alone, they all got to be some of my favourite movies of all time. The original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Number 1 is very good, but number 2 is probably my favourite. And trying to think proper classic movies. There's a movie that Will Smith did called £7. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh yeah. I've seen
So
it, yeah.
good, mate. It's such a good film, that is. Like, it's a complete different type of film to anything I've just mentioned, but it's Will Smith. I used to be a massive Will Smith fan. Like, there was a period of time where all of Will Smith's films were just unreal. Like, they were so good. Like, I don't know if it's just a period of my, like, maturity or what, I don't know, but I just used to love Will Smith films. Like, stuff like that. £7 was one of my top films ever. There's a film called Warriors. What's it called? Warrior. It's got Tom Hardy in it. It's an MMA film. That film is honestly like so good as well. That's in my top 5. Lord of the Rings trilogy. Classic. Some of my favourite films ever made. And I try and think of one more. Try and think of probably American Pie 2, mate. I know it sounds so stupid, but like I just remember that movie. I remember that movie so much, like so much. And yeah, I don't know what it is about American Pie 2, mate, but it's just jumps out. It just jumped out of my head then because I used to watch it all the time. I used to think it was like one of the funniest things ever when I was younger.
The soundtrack as well.
Soundtrack's so good. The soundtrack to that, mate, is so good. That and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, mate. So that late 90s, early 2000 movies had the best soundtracks. There was honestly all the soundtracks were wicked on those sort of like teen movies.
Oh, I totally agree.
What about yourself?
I think growing up, like Home Alone, I must have watched that film about 40 times, or maybe more.
And counting.
Yeah, classics like Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, we mentioned earlier, E.T., Gremlins, Indiana Jones, stuff like that. But
yeah,
like you were saying, Lord of the Rings, I often do a marathon, go through them again. Obviously, the extended edition, you got to do it to get the full story, with the Hobbit as well. So yeah,
we used to have the extended DVDs that looked like books, and like the DVD extended was like it was like 4 discs or something. You had to like part way through the movie, you had to change the disc, and then like just to keep watching because it was so big.
It's like back in the day when I was playing Final Fantasy VII, and like you get to a bit, Final Fantasy 8 and 9 as well. You get to a bit, and you're like, disc 2. What?
Yeah, that's right.
You're sitting there comfortable. You have to get up and put another disc in, and then sometimes it might not work because it's scratched, and you're like, "What am I meant to do now then?"
Yeah, I forgot a couple. Shawshank Redemption, that's up there.
I think that's my
in
I think that's
terms
my
of like
favourite film that of all
some of the
time.
greatest films of all time. And there's another one I watched recently again. Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, great film.
That's so good, that movie is. But I'm a little bit of a as much as I love like a lot of stuff with fighting in it, I am quite a story driven person. I say with my music, I love music that's well written, and it just it's something that just hits a little bit different about a very well written movie. And I think that's £7. I think that's why that connects to me. I think it's a very well written film. So yeah,
Have you
I
seen?
just thought
Have you
I'd
seen?
shout it out.
Have you seen Green Mile?
Green Mile,
The
classic, mate.
classic.
Absolutely, honestly, mate.
Emotion as well.
R.I.P. John Coffey. Um, but yeah, there's so many films that you could pick though in sort of that sort of category.
Yeah,
You could easily have a top 150 movies, I think, like easily. Like, you know, if you went down and wrote all the movies down on paper that you've watched, you could probably pick 100 out dead easy of your favourite movies.
yeah.
Like as long as, for me, I think one of the big things for a film, for me, is the rewatchability of it. So, like, you've got to be able to watch the movie over and over and over and over, in my opinion, and
Yeah,
still enjoy
absolutely.
it. Like the Lord of the Rings, you can do that. Star Wars movies, Harry Potter, you can do that. Although Harry Potter, I don't think would be in my top sort of like 20, but they are good films. And again, I think Harry Potter stands out for me because for nostalgic reasons as well. Because obviously I was young when they was young, and I grew as they grew, sort of thing.
Yeah,
But I think the rewatchability sort of it stands out to me, but obviously as being a film that's good. Obviously, in your opinion.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you. But yeah, Lord of the Rings, like
So
the
sick, mate.
characters, the story, so well written.
Yeah, you
Um,
mentioned Jurassic Park as well. I went to get tattooed on Friday, and there was me, and there was two other guys in there. Obviously, one of them was tattooing me, and the other one was just he was a tattooist, and he was doing sketches and stuff because he had someone coming in later on. And he was like, "Should we just put a movie on?" And he put Jurassic. Turns out on Amazon, Jurassic World 1's not free, so we had to watch Lost World Jurassic Park, sorry, not Jurassic World.
yeah.
Jurassic Park 2, Lost World. And we watched all of it, man. I was like, this is still a sick film, this is. It's proper good, where they take like the baby T-Rex off, don't they? And then the
Oh
mum
yeah.
comes looking for it, fuming.
I remember in Jurassic with the Jurassic Park, we went to see it in like an orchestra,
Oh,
like the
yeah.
film, in like concert. Like, it's
Yeah.
so good. When the helicopter's coming down near the waterfall, it's like oh, it's amazing. I was there like hairs on the back of my neck was like coming up. I was like, oh,
Proper sick.
yeah.
So,
John
yeah.
Williams. John Williams, the
Oh,
composer, is so good.
oh, yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
for
So
another.
even some of those, like
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
the composers and stuff in Lord of the Rings, and like the score, the soundtrack for that is so good, mate. Like, it's so good. It's like I really don't like Ed Sheeran. Right, I think he's crap. I think he's the most samey person ever. But he did a song for one of the Hobbit movies, mate, and it's actually like I think because it was in like a Lord of the Rings Hobbit movie. I think it's the only reason I like it. But he did make it kind of sound like it was like medievally. Like, but those sort of they
Yeah.
certainly pick the right type of songs, don't they? Like, if they didn't think it was good, they wouldn't allow it to be in that movie and that soundtrack.
Yeah, I remember that song. It's like, is it I See Fire? I think that's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah,
It's for the
it's in the
Smorg the
desolation of
Dragon.
Smorg. That's it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, when it comes to movies as well, the score has got the composer behind it.
yeah. Like Star Wars,
Yeah,
iconic, mate.
John Williams. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
John Williams did Indiana Jones. One of my favorites
Indiana
as well is
Jones,
Hans Zimmer.
Hans
Did
Zimmer, Spider Man.
he did yeah, Last Samurai?
Yeah,
Classic.
Last Samurai. Oh, Last Samurai, mate. That's such a good movie.
Did Gladiator as well, didn't he? He's done so many, so many.
Yeah, it's like that. There you go. Look, Last Samurai, Gladiator. Like, they could easily be like. They're certainly not bad films ever. Like, I'd never badmouth those as movies. Like, they're so good movies. Like, I've watched them
I mean,
multiple
uh,
times.
I can't put them in a certain position on a list because they're
No,
also
you
they're
just have
also
to.
good
When
on.
someone asks you a question like that, you just instantly think of the ones that come to your head, like your head straight away, don't you, sort
Yeah,
of thing. But
but yeah, Last Samurai.
Last Samurai is so good. So good, mate.
Yeah.
I used to watch a movie when I was a kid, actually, called Three Ninjas. I can't remember what it was called now. I think it was called Three Ninjas, like Strike Back or something. And that's one of the first movies I saw that made me like fall in love with Japan. Basically, it's like three brothers that are trained by their granddad, who's like a martial artist, and
Yeah.
he gets like I can't remember what happens, but he ends up going to Japan, and then the kids go to Japan with him. Like they sneak off and go to Japan, and they're going through Japan, and there's always like parades and stuff like that in Japan, and like big Pokemon blimps. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, "This looks sick." This I must have been like six years old or something at the time, mate, thinking like I'm going there one day, mate. But realistically, it's not even a good movie. But like,
Yeah.
I watched it like in the last 5 years. I've definitely watched it in the last 5 years. I think it's called Three Ninjas Kick Back or something. Let's have a look. Yeah, it came out in 1994, mate. Like,
Wow.
it's it's got 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's a shit movie, mate. Like it is. But like, when I was a kid, because they went to Japan, I thought Japan looked sick.
Yeah.
Like that was literally it for me then. Loved ninjas, mate. Proper loved them after that.
Yeah, that I'm hoping that new Assassin's Creed game's is decent. I think it will be, but that's set in Japan into it, and I'm just ready to look around on that game, just looking at all the scenery and
Oh
discovering
yeah,
things.
because
That'd
they
be.
do it so well, don't they? That's the thing with
Mm.
Assassin's Creed. Is that all those sort of bits? Like even the Viking one when they came to the UK, like they got
Yeah,
a lot of the scenery so right. Like it's so good.
yeah, like going to like London and like your bit, which is York.
Yeah,
Just going around, just checking different areas out, checking the what's it the word? Like the chapel and stuff like that.
yeah,
It was so
yeah.
good.
It is good. That's one of the best things about the games is the exploration.
Yeah, I think that new game Mirage, the latest one from Assassin's Creed. I literally didn't do much of the story. I just like walking around on like going around on a camel, just like discovering the map, like running around the desert. Like, what's over here? What's over there? What's over there? Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's so good. I think that'll do it for today, guys.
yeah. It's been good. Been fun. Through a lot of topics.
Yeah, as I say, anything you obviously agree with or disagree with, let us know. Or if you've got any other different anime that are coming out soon that you want us to take a look at or consider, get in the Discord. That's your best thing you can do. Is jump in the Discord. Obviously, it's on our phones. It's just easier than leaving a comment on YouTube or anything like that because it's real time. Then you can have a proper chat with us, and yeah, you can obviously send us whatever you need, whether it's to do with your worst heroes or your favourite heroes. And yeah, it's been a good one. I've enjoyed it. So if you have
Yeah,
been listening, thanks for listening. If you've been watching, thanks for watching and listening. I guess in that case. And if we're on Spotify now. I got the thing today to say we can upload to Spotify now, so that's a plus. So we can get our podcasts on there now. So if you're listening to this part, then head over to there and follow us on that. Because it's certainly a lot easier than YouTube. Certainly for car journeys and that sort of thing. And we're aiming to get it on more places, but just check out our socials, and especially in the YouTube description as well. All our links are there. All of Martin's links are there. All of my links are there, and all of obviously the podcast links are there. And yeah, just jump down there and check them out, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one.
yeah. Take care, everybody.